Okay, let's see, where was I? Tasman. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just implement, what's it called? Stop orders? Yeah, stop orders. So, um, the way we're gonna do this is pretty simple. I think we're just gonna go ahead into that validation thing. Where is it? If is pair. Oh, what the hell? Wait, what the hell? Um, hmm. Mm, wait a minute. Oh, fuck, okay. First thing we need to think about is how we're gonna even store the orders, the stop orders. So we're just gonna go into here. We have this stop limit bit, and we have a OCO bit, and we have a has stop bit. So if has stop, then we basically need to ignore everything else. So we're gonna go into kind of our own thing and do our own thing here. And this is gonna have completely different validation. Oh, what the hell is this? Is pair pre. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So if is stop or has stop, then completely different validation, a bit looser. Looser validation could just be the stop itself. So if in price, what is all this other shit? Is pair, if reject reason. What the hell? Oh, I don't like this actually. Yeah, a lot of is pair stuff. If in price is greater than 0, actually an order on this thing. There's stop price and there's stop. Okay, I think it has stop. If is pair, rich reason is equal to. Let's see what we're gonna do here. It's gonna be the same one as this one. Because fuck off. Second quantity and second price will be that of the stop. And I guess we also need direction, so wait, how is direction not here? Whatever. And we can do, we also need to make a synthetic stop order. Yeah, make a synthetic stop order. Now I think I'm gonna do this stupid way and just put all of these into a circular buffer for now, and then every time we do that we just check. Because we could have we could have a bunch of stocks waiting on a specific value type, on specific what's it fucking called? Um, Waiting on a specific price, I guess. I don't really want to deal with that right now, so whatever. We do need to make another order, which we're basically just gonna do something similar to this right here. Oh, whoa. Alright. Ask seed, client ID, price. Second price is fine. Second quantity is fine. Other ID. Wait, what the fuck? ID. Why does it get an ID? Wait, no, it doesn't need an ID. Oh, wait, no, it does need to reference each other. So we can just do this. Other ID. Bit. We'll do has stop bit. I guess that's confusing. Maybe this should be like is stop bit, which is separate. Oh god, we need more bits, don't we? Maybe I have no idea. Whatever. Is stop bit for now. Ask in. It's not gonna be ask in. It's gonna be stop in. And it's not gonna go into the book immediately, but it is gonna be in order. So, oh, don't call it ask seed. Call it stop. I'll call stop order here. Other ID is gonna be just this ID. So what is it? Order ID. Something like that. Stop order. Yeah, so we just set the wait, no. Stop order dot status is equal to oh, we just do this. Or equal to in status. Oh no, we just do second direction is equal to 1 question mark. Then we do stop order dot status is equal to 1 by direction bit. Otherwise we don't do that. And we do need to do the is stop bit. There we go. Ask order, no. Stop order ID, there we go. And then we also need to do, for this order, is equal to stop order ID. They are now linked for OCO. We're just gonna assume that there's a limit. Yeah, we're just gonna assume that this is gonna be like a take profit limit order and a stop loss stop order. And we can just what the hell? Exec order ID, is that it? This is kind of weird. I don't really believe that, but whatever. Stop order ID. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Yeah. So now we have a stop in. We have a new order ID. And now what we need to do with it is we just validation. We're gonna skip almost entirely. We're just gonna push the stop order ID into the into some structure keyed by the price right there. Now this structure is going to be a little tricky, but we'll get back to that later. And then if we have a price, then we also need to do just a regular reg reason is equal to add pre-check in CS MBO star old MBO raw 0 0. This is used. Oh my god, we could actually cancel a stop and then replace it with a different stop, which is honestly just fucking annoying. If you want to cancel a stop, how would you even do that? How'd you cancel a stop? You go into this thing, cancel pre-check, and then you would get the order. You would see that it is a stop bit, so the order is a stop, and then you check the stop table or stop structure, and you could use the price of that stop to get. Cool. Yeah, something like this. I guess we could also do. Well, this would break then. So maybe we need to cancel it first. Oh my god, this is so fucking complicated. Alright, you know what, fuck this. I'm gonna do the margin account stuff. This one's, I think, a bit easier. Let me do include client settings, and we'll just do is cash account, and let's do U8 margin multiple 2. Let me make that clear. 2 for 0.5 margin requirement, 4 for 0.25 margin requirement, keeping as an int, not a float. Alright, now let's think about this. This one's a lot easier. Let me just see. Let's see where we actually don't even need this. We'll just calculate it kind of on the fly when we make a trade or when we do the reserve. And I think it's right here actually. Buying power. Yeah, here we go. Okay. We're gonna assume that there's just infinite shares at all time. Actually, you know what? I might need this. U32 owed cash and U32 owed shares. Alright. Let's see where reserved cash is actually used. Or just cash. Let's see. So it's only used in very few places. No, it's used all over the place. Hold on. What the fuck is this? If it's a pair and ask is KR. What the fuck? or is cancel. So ask us. What the hell? I don't get it. Let's see this one. Reclaim cache. That one's pretty obvious. Reclaim cache is just reclaimed from the cancel. What is this? Oh yes, this is exactly what we need. So we have this cost thing, right? But it's not just cache minus reserved cache minus reclaimed cache. We actually need to do calculate buying power, which is going to be U32 BP is equal to 0 if CS is cache account, then BP is equal to this, and we just return BP. This is like remaining buying power. Else we do some fun fucking math, but I think it's just this. CS margin molt. I'll call it margin molt, and it's just that. I think it's that simple, right? I'm sure this will work just fine. And if we have a cell, we need to do something similar. U32 BP is equal to. Actually, we can calculate BP right here. It's going to be the same for. Oh, this isn't like. Oh, wait a minute. This cost is more abstract. So it's more like this. If CS is cache account, then we do that. Otherwise, figure out. Wait, we're selling, right? Oh God. Okay. I think this is add pre-check, right? This is like the big one. Yeah. Okay. This is actually where it matters. We also need to do an equity check, which is just annoying. Else figure out if we get a short. Yeah. This is a short, right? We're selling when we don't have. That's a short. If you sell when you have, that's just a normal sell. You are like a cover, right? It was like you close out a position. Like when you buy something, you have a position, you close it, you close out that position. But if you keep going, if you keep selling, that's a short sell. And you eventually have to do a short cover, which is when you buy those shares back and you pay people off. In fact, I'm just going to do this. We can do this. If it's a cash account, it's pretty simple. We'll just do that. Don't even worry about BP. It's annoying. So fucking annoying. If it's cash account, do this. Otherwise, do this. If we want to buy and we have a margin account, I have no idea how to do this, but whatever. Oh, this is gonna get fun because we also need the last market value. So whatever the last trade was, we actually need to keep track of that now, which is has a whole list of other fun side effects, but whatever. If it's a cash account, we just do this, easy peasy. Otherwise, we need to calculate, can we buy this? And this cost right here is how many shares. So really, it's like the cost here is still money. Is money two. It will be cost times last market value. Let me just say it exists. I think it's at U16. LMV, and we'll just do it's gonna be cost times equal to, we don't use it anymore, so we do times equal to LMV. So this is how much we need. Oh, we're selling. Oh god. Okay, let's look at these scenarios. Let's start with the buy. You have reserved cash, reclaimed cash. You also have shares, reserved shares, owed shares, reclaimed shares from the cancel, and also reserved cash minus CS cash owed. Wait, there's also an idea. Oh god. Wait, cash can be negative. Cash can be negative, right? Reserved shares can also be negative. I have no idea. This is the check. This is like the check. Alright, let's do this. BP check. Equity check. Let me do a quick ask of Google. Investopedia. Will a let's say not brokerage, let's say stock exchange allow you to make a trade that will make your equity negative? This is the most degen stuff ever. This doesn't help. Okay, whatever. Equity check, equity check, equity check. What's the equity check here? Shut up. Equity check. If well, we're not going to be borrowing shares, so whatever equity is, it's going to be something like okay, notice this one. Notice this one, that even if the cost is really small, this will prevent us from going into zero. Because this always, if this is less, then it can't happen. Equity check. Equity, U32 equity is equal to cash, minus owed cash plus LMV times shares minus owed shares. Now, why would reserve shares not come in this? Because they're in the book. They're in the book, but okay, this thing's annoying. I think it's just this, honestly. I don't see a problem with this equation. There you have it. But you're about to spend this much. Cost. Equity after. Actually no, just this. If equity is greater than, less than, what if it's equal to? That's fine. Cash, cost. Same. Is this the same rejection? Can't include response. No buying power, no shares. Yeah, no buying power. Sounds good enough. Good enough. Now notice the equity equation for us. Cash account. Cash account, it would be CS cash plus, oh, it's just cash. It's just cash, like, or, oh, it's different, it's different. Ah, damn it, okay, whatever. Okay, so this is equity. You have cash, you have some negative cash, and you have shares, and you have owed shares. Put all those together, you have some equity amount. Even if something is tied up, even if something is tied up, you can't tie up more than you have, right? No, you could tie up more than you have. You could make a, if you have 10K of cash, you could make a 20K reservation. And it would use all your buying power. And if somebody filled it, you would have 20K worth of stock, and you would have negative 10,000 money. Which still works out. Oh, wait. You owe money, but you have 20K worth of stock. So equity is still at 10K because it's not multiplied by anything. It's just cash. You owe negative cash, but you have shares. You have some amount of this equals 20,000. That equals 20,000. So that doesn't change equity. A trade will not change equity. If this could change though. This could change independent of the trade by other trades. So that could go up or down. Okay. What about buying power? How does that trade buying? How does that affect buying power? Let me just see if I can work through an example here. You have 10K, 0 shares. BP in this super simple case is margin molt times CS cash. All right. You place a resting bid worth 20K. Now your equity doesn't change because the cash isn't moved yet, it's just reserved. So reserved is not here, and neither, it might be here from the cancel, but that's fine. Alright, you place a resting bid worth 20K. Money does not move, however, the margin requirement for that 20K is 20K divided by margin molt. Margin molt, alright, equals 10K. So that's the margin requirement, but what does that even fucking mean? I feel like it just seems right that you can't do anything else once you're here. Like, cash did not move yet, so equity is still 10K worth of cash. But the buying power is gone. So it's like 10K. Whoa, what the? So it's like, but BP is gone, which is equal to margin molt times cash minus reserved cash. Reserved cash. So that cash is now, it's in the order book. It's in the order book. It hasn't traded yet, but it's in the order book. So you can't make another trade. You can't do another short. You can't do another long. If you cancel it, you get the, oh my god, fucking cancels. Now we already figured out how much cash you get back or how many shares you get back from a cancel. That's easy. That's easy. Then what if you owe cash? Could you owe cash in a margin account, or is that like? Yeah, you could. All right, watch this. All right, BP is gone. Margin mult is equal to that times that, which is 0. All right. So equity is still 10K. That didn't change, but BP is now 0. All right. Order fills. 20K. Whatever the stock price, doesn't matter. Just 20K worth of stocks. You now have. You bought 20K worth of stock, which means cash went down by 20K. Cash went down 20K. Thus, you know what? This might be just easier to keep as a I-32, so we can just do negatives. Thus, cash is equal to negative 10K, which is possible in a margin account, but shares went held shares went up, let's say 20 at 1K each, all right. Then share equity, share value of shares held is now 20K. All right. So now what? Equity 20K minus 10K is equal to still 10K. Buying power. This is where it gets interesting. So the cash is now, it's not reserved, but also it's negative now. Like cash is now negative. So cash minus owed cash is equal to negative 10K, and this gets multiplied by the margin mult. A mult is equal to negative 20K. So there's your owed money, but also 20K. But also LMV of 1K times 20, because you just have those shares now. You have those shares. That's all fine. Is equal to 20 is equal to also 20K. So thus BP is still 0. So equity is 10K, never changed. BP is now 0. What can you do? You can't do anything. The only thing you can do is now sell. So what's the idea here? If you buy, so basically you put all your money into 20K, right? We're going to forget about shorting just for a second. We're just going to focus on longing. The hope is that you leveraged yourself and now your money goes up. Let's take another. Let's say ideally LMV becomes 2K. Now equity is equal to 20. You have negative 10K in cash because it's owed, plus 2K times 20. This is equal to, you now have 30K. That's equity, so you're still in the blue. BP is equal to cash, which is negative 10K times the margin multiplier, but plus the shares held, which is now 40K. same thing. 2k times 20 is equal to also 30k somehow. Huh. And we just chose a weird value. Let me try this again. LMV becomes 3k. So good day for the stock. We have 3k. This now becomes 50k, and this now becomes also 50k. Wait. Oh no, this is 30k. This is 20k. Yeah. Now let's take a bad day. LMV becomes 500. You have equity is equal to same calculations. You still have that hole. You still owe cash. That didn't change, but now you have 500 times 20, which is what is this? 10k. 10k minus 10k. Your equity is now 0. You're fucked. And here your buying power is now negative 10k. Does that make sense? Buying power is now negative. Do you owe money in this case, or? No, if you sold right now, if you sold at market value, you would have this. If you sold those shares. BP is buying power. Doesn't say anything about selling, does it? Oh my god. I guess that's why it's called buying power. Mind blown. Insane. Can't believe it. Oh. Now I see why it's called buying power, not selling power. Okay. All right, so let me take a less bad day real quick. Less bad day, LMB becomes 750, so we have 750, we have 750 minus 15k, you have that 750 value going on. That's going to be 15k, that's 5k. No, wait. As 15k minus 20k, this is negative 5k. But this one is positive 5k. Oh shit, my phone's almost dead. Shit. Oops. So the difference between equity and BP is always that equity must be greater than BP. No, it can't. It doesn't. No. What if when you're starting, equity is 10k, BP is, when you're starting equity, BP is double, but once you buying power, buying power, I mean like, fuck. So margin and equity can be whatever the fuck they want to be, or a BP and equity. Yeah, right here. Equity. Okay. So buying power basically restricts what you can do, like what if you can buy. Buying power is the gate here. Is one gate here. The other is equity. But like, I don't think equity. I think equity, like equity going to zero, should be caught. Like this isn't something that happens when trades happen. I think as the specifically when trades happen and the LMV changes, then we need to basically check all the margin accounts and see if this applies. Because if they hit zero, if they hit below zero, so if I guess what, like long minus short positions, then they're fucked. And they're basically gonna need to liquidate immediately, otherwise the brokerage takes a loss, because if their equity is negative, where's it coming from? It's coming from someone, or they need to deposit money. Margin call LMV to 250. Let me just see what happens. Equity is equal to that, which is 10k minus, no, 10k remains, but this is a 5k, I think. Yeah, this is negative 5k, and the other one is this one, which is 20k minus 5k, which is, no, 5k minus 20k, so this is negative 15k. So liquidating immediately, market order, will yield something like negative 5k. Brokerage should have caught this earlier. Margin call LMV to 250, equity is equal to negative 10k plus 20 to 50. Okay. So really the only gate here, the equity, which isn't gated here, but constantly checked. Is it even possible to get, and possibly margin called, which will do a market order on the stocks held, which it will get you actually, because we're going to sell against bids, it's actually going to be less than whatever the bid was. And as if everyone margin calls, the price just plummets and it gets worse and worse for everyone, so equity will be lost. Now let's take the other direction. LMV becomes 3K, equity is now up to 50K, which is not bad considering you only put 10K cash in. Buying power is now 30K, you can now open more positions. Let's take a look at the inverse. Copy this one. Selling. Let's say you have 10K, and let's say you also have 10 shares. Why not? Buying power. Let's just equity is equal to, let's say it's again at 1,000. You have 10K. you have beautiful 20k worth of equity, which you're in the clear. Buying power is also pretty good. You actually have 10k times the margin, and you also have the 1k LMV. So this is also this is actually 30k. So your stocks can be used as collateral, but only like 1x. The money is doubled. So you have 30k. Let's say sell 10 shares. So this one is a long. Wait, is that important? Yeah, no. Sell share. Yeah, long. So this is long because you have it. What happens? Yeah, let me think about this real quick. Actually, writing it out really helps me. Typing it out, I mean. And I think my formulas are actually pretty sound here. Ah, shit! I forgot to buy rice. Oh no. Do I go get some right now? Should I? Probably. One sec. So I'm not just gonna say sell. I'm gonna go through the actual steps. So it's not just sell. It's place, resting ask, and mm, for a resting ask, it's not just you actually do need to calculate how much is tied up, right? Because it depends on market value. So even if you make like a really high ask, like 2K, it doesn't matter. It only matters like what the current value is, because that's how much like your portfolio is worth. So even if you say, okay, I want, if you make an ask for 2K, so double the current price, it doesn't matter for calculations. So, damn, that shit's good. For the sake of argument, I'll just say place resting ask, and on this resting ask, we place resting ask for 10 shares. Long because you have it. While it's resting, what happens? Equity. Hasn't moved. You have 10K cash. Equity hasn't moved, but buying power what do we say? Buying power is cash minus reserved cash, and I think it's going to be shares minus reserved shares. So to go by this calculation, we have shares, or 1K times shares. We have 10 shares, but 10 are reserved, is equal to 0, which makes sense, right? Wrong. Oh, we still have cash. We have margin multiplier 2 times 10K minus 0 plus that is equal to 20K. So you can't do anything with your shares anymore. You don't get any BP from that. And notice equity didn't change. BP went down. You tied up 10K of your BP. Okay? But let me show you. A more interesting example. Or let's keep working with this one. Then I'll come back to 10K with 0 shares. It fills. What happens? It fills means you sell. So I don't know. Let's say for some reason it all stays at 1K. So equity, cash goes down. No, cash goes up because you sell. 1K times 10. Shares go down. Equity. Equity. You have 10K of cash, very nice. You have 0 here, so this is 20 plus 0, you still have 20. That makes sense. But we made a trade, equity didn't budge, because it's like the value of it. You just changed the format of it, you didn't change the actual value. It's not until the price moves that value equity changes. Buying power. Let's see what happens. You now have 10K. You have 20K cash, but you have 0 stocks. There's none is reserved, none is held, and this works out to 40K. How the fuck is that possible? So you increase your buying power, not your selling power. Selling power, I don't fucking know what that is. I guess that makes sense. I'm not gonna. All right, whatever. Let's go back. You have 10K, 0 shares. You have 10K of equity. Buying power is 20K because it doesn't double. Now let's say you sell 10 shares. Okay, this is where it gets really fun. This is called short selling. And actually, let me show you how it works for the long one. If you sell, you hope it goes down. So it goes down to 500. And you buy back, and you buy again. Buy, let's say 10 shares again. What happens? Let's say you're able to just get it. Or actually, let's say it goes down to 10K, down to 500K. What happens then? Believe it or not, these do not change. Your equity and your buying power stay identical because you are not holding anything. You're just holding cash. So that changes nothing. You buy 10 shares again. Here's what happens. I'm not gonna bother with like resting limit. We're just gonna say this. Cash. Let's say instantly. Instantly. Cash goes up. Actually, should we work through this? Yeah, and you have a resting. The timing's a bit weird on this, but you get the idea. You have resting bid at 500. What does that resting bid do? Equity is equal to 20K. Reserve doesn't affect, so this is still the same. Still the same value, but the BP, you have 20K, but if you have a resting bid at 500 for 10, your resting is 5K, right? And you still don't have any shares. You don't have any shares, and you don't have any shares reserved, and you don't have any shares owed. So this right here, your buying power does go down because of that 500. This is 30K. This is 30K. Let me make that more clear. Tied up. Okay. It hits. Now what? Equity. You lose 5K, gain 10 stocks. And what is that? Now what? Equity, you lose 10K, so that's gone. You're down to 15K, but you do have that many stocks, so you get 15K plus 5K, which is still 20K. Your buying power, again, you have 15K. nothing is tied up, but you do have 5 of these, 5 big ones. So you have 30K plus, oh sorry, it's 10. 30K plus 35K. So compare that to the start. Your equity is the same. Wait, does that make sense? Okay, look at this. When you started, you had 10K and you had 10 shares, right? But now you have 15K and you have 10 shares. I mean, I don't know about you, but that seems like a better position to be in. I mean, if you don't care about the company that much and you just want cash, I mean, hey, 15K is better than 10K, right? So that was a good move. If it goes up, I actually want to think about what happens if it goes up. Anyways, buying power. Hey, your buying power is up because you have more cash. That's it. Only because you have more cash. Because the buying power from the shares you held actually went down. So, yeah. Okay. Let's say it went up instead. So you had a resting ask. Place a resting ask for 10 shares. Oh, I'm trying to think about how this actually goes. Wait, if you have a resting ask. Oh, let's say you put the resting ask like super high. Super high. Wasn't hit. Alright. So you're asking for like $1 million for this thing. But let's see what happens to equity. Last market value is equal to 2K. What happens? Equity is equal to, you still have that 10K of cash, and you still have that. Oh, actually, wait, does that make sense? Your equity goes up. Your equity goes up, and your buying power your shares are held up. So this is from this situation, you're compared to this one, if it goes up, if you're in this position and then the price goes up, your equity goes up, but your buying power stays the same. Why? Because all your shares are tied up. Cool. Now this is fine. If you're, I mean, this is good. if you sell at market, if you just cancel that ask and sell lower, you get 30K when you had 10K. So that's not bad. Now let's take a look at short selling. This is where it gets really fun. Let's start with oh, actually it's down here, isn't it? You start with 10K, 0 shares. You sell 10 shares. First of all, where do those 10 shares come from? Or wait a minute. What if we place an ask first? How could that work? Can we place ask first? Anyways, the point is, I'm getting really confident about this formula, and I feel like anyone that tells me otherwise is just plain wrong. But this is for buying. For buying, I'm very confident that it's just shares minus reserve shares minus owed shares plus claimed shares. Yeah, that's buying power. And if buying power and honestly, this is like an exit one. And brokerage should have caught this earlier. Probably. Right? Can you ever let me see. Okay, right here. Equity is 5, buying power is -5. Buying power is -5. This will block you before you ever get a chance to dig into the equity. Yeah, okay. BP gate shouldn't even allow us to get here. Okay, next thing. If BP is less than cost, return reg no buying power. Sorry, bud. Alright, that handles the buying, I guess. Let's handle. Oh wait, but what if you're covering a short? Let's go through it. Alright, sell 10 shares. Can we place an ask first? Let's say yes. Why the fuck not? So how do we place an ask when we don't even have it? Well, the beautiful thing about short selling is that you don't even need to have the shares. You can just owe shares. But if it's just an ask, you don't even need to owe them. You just oh my god. Well, you can't. There has to be some limit to this. They can't keep getting away with it, you know. Let me just see if I can. Let's say equity is equal to what even happens? What even happens when you? Oh god. All right, I'm gonna skip this one. I don't know what happens if you just place an ask, but let's say the ask is filled. All right, at this point, 10 shares appear out of nowhere, like magic. You get, what do you get? You get, let's say it's at 1K. You get 10K, yay, for free. And that's it. You get 10K. So equity is equal to, let's get the full formula out. This is just what is equity? You have 10K. You have 10K, plain and simple. You don't owe any cash. You also don't have any stocks though, and now you actually owe someone. You owe someone LMV times 10, right? Which is equal to 0 in this case, because that is that. And equity being 0 is already a bit of a red flag. I feel like this order should not have even been allowed. But let's check buying power. Is equal to, you have, say 2 times, you have that 10K cash. You don't owe any cash, you don't have any cash reserved, but you also do have 0 minus 10 minus 0. Oh no, this is, what is this? Reserved. Nothing's reserved, you just have negative 10, like that. And this is going to be equal to 20K plus minus 10K is equal to 10K. Is that right? Maybe we should call this like selling power or something. So equity is 0. Ooh. I don't like that equity is 0. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with this. If BP is 10K, then you still have 10K to play with. But equity is 0. Which is a problem. Oh wait. Oh yeah, no, that's accounted for. All right. BP doesn't seem quite right, but oh well. Oh wait a minute, no. No, wait. This should still be 20K. BP doesn't. No, equity doesn't. No, wait, equity went to 0. Oh, right. We have 20K cash now. Hold on. Now we're talking. Now we're doing well. We're rolling in it. Yeah, 30K. Let's go. We just went from. Yes, I know. Okay, if we just trade and the market doesn't move, equity is the same. It just went from, we went from some cash and no stocks to more cash and negative stocks. All right, so that's still 10K. The buying power went up, which does, I don't know. That seems a bit wrong. That seems a little off. Well, I'll tell you this. I know this. Because it's just reserved, and oh wait a minute. Do we borrow when we make the? Do we borrow when we make the ask or when it actually fills? Well, yeah. I mean, we could just keep shorting. And buying power will just keep going up. Doesn't sound like a bad deal. Well, it doesn't matter. It's still 10K one way or another. BP is equal to. You have $10,000. There's no cash reserved. There's no cash owed. Multiply that by 2. but then you also have plus LMV times 0 minus 10, because it's reserved but not owed yet, minus 10 is equal to, again, you have that 30K number. So as soon as you make the short, your buying power goes up. That's pretty good. That is not bad at all. You can just keep shorting forever. Right? Well, I'll just tell you right now, if LMV were to double, so it goes to 2K, this becomes negative 20K, so this goes down to 20K. If LMV goes to 0, this whole thing becomes 40K. So that at least is right. Like, yeah. However, equity, on the other hand, if LMV goes to 2K, you're done. You're at 0 equity. If LMV goes to 0, you're at 20K. So if your equity gets destroyed, you're done. But I feel like there's something else I'm missing here that isn't quite right. There's a margin requirement when you make a short sale. Just for owing stocks, you need to have some level of cash. I feel like I'm so close to getting it. Okay, let's just keep working through this. Goes to 2K and you buy it back. What happens? Oh, you can't even. Oh yeah, you can. It'll just wipe out all your money. You get 10 shares, lose 20K. So equity is equal to 0 minus 0 minus 0 minus LMV times 0 is equal to 0. You're wiped out. BP is equal to you never had those shares, you owed them. And this is just going to be 0 or 2 0 minus 0 minus 0 plus LMV times 0 minus 0 minus 0 is equal to 0. So you're wiped out. You're done. Goes to 500. Buy it back. In this case, you get 10 shares and you lose only 5K. So this is going to look like cash goes to. Oh no, wait. You don't get 10 shares. You just you get 10 shares and immediately give them back. Cash goes to 15K. So you have equity is equal to 15K. Nothing is tied up. Nothing is owed. Minus LMV times 0 is equal to 15K, which is not bad considering you started with 10K. And then buying power is equal to 2 times 15K plus 0 minus 0 minus 0 plus LMV times what is basically just 0 is equal to 30K. So you basically just got cash right here. It's not bad. This is the whole point of short selling. If you can if you know that the market's going to go down, you just write it down, and you write it down. You can get your money, but like this makes sense. This makes sense. This one, makes sense. Just this one's it's a bit weird, isn't it? You know what? Maybe I accidentally wrote it correctly. No, let's say we only borrow when we make the fill, so I think it's just that. You don't owe anything, it's just reserved. But then maybe we need, okay, I concede. We need something like this. Oh no, it's just owed shares, So maybe we do something like minus LMV times owed. I think we do that here and there. And that way we will actually see that, oh, but then buying power doesn't change. But it should. If we open up a, is it this? Is this what I'm looking for? Because yeah, because owed shares. If you can't just owe shares for free, you need to have some. Wait, does it cut into equity or what? What is the gate I'm looking for? There's like, what is it? If you borrow 10K of shares, which we're doing here, you need to have at least 5K, right? I actually think this is exactly it. I think this is exactly it right here. Minus margin of 20K. Because you have 10, wait, but margin multiplier 20K. Wait, no. Maybe it's divide by margin multiplier? Is it divide by margin multiplier? Is it, this is 10K, but then, is it this? Well, if it's that, then you only need to have 5K of collateral, so this only takes 5K away, and you have, there's 20K and you have 15K. Does that make sense? That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, you don't owe anything. You don't owe anything at all, so this is zero. This still is just this, because you don't owe it yet. You're just reserved. Maybe you owe it and it's reserved, but then here it's only reserved. Well, it's only owed. Maybe that's a cleaner way to think about it. Minus. So this is minus 20. So this is 20K minus 20K minus. No, you don't know anything. Fuck it, whatever. This is 20K minus 10K. This is 20K. This is 40K minus 10K. 40K minus 10K minus 5K. but then buying power still went up. Buying power, I feel like, look at this, selling, you have 10K shares, buying power, it is at 30K, you place an ask, it's at 20K, it fails, you get 40K. Wait, what? Because you converted. Equity is the same, buying power went up. So that should happen here too, right? Buying power is the same, equity is the same. Buying power went down and then it went up. Short maintenance requirement. Or not maintenance, it's like a, yeah, something like this. Under regulation T. Okay. Maybe these fellows, these folk can explain. Shut up. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. Borrow shares from the broker. This involves risk. Okay. As a short seller, you are borrowing shares from another investor or a broker firm and selling it in the market. Okay. It is possible for the investor to owe more money than they initially received in the short sale at the market price. Yes. Short sale is like a mirror image of a long trade when margin is considered. Under regulation T, short sales require a deposit equal to 150% of the value of the position at the time the short sale is executed. So this isn't buying power. Maybe I think I'm right. If there wasn't this guard, you could just infinitely short sell. You'd owe negative stocks, but then you'd have a corresponding increase in cash, and the cash gets doubled. So if you just keep shorting, you could just get infinite buying power. So I think this is fine, and there's like a second gate we need to do specifically for, I'm pretty confident about this actually. I'm pretty confident that this is in fact the buying power formula I was looking for. You know, you have 20K, 10K, and then 30K, which is an analog of what happens here. You have 30K buying power, you have 20K buying power, you have 40K buying power. Here's same exact thing except we're shorting. However, I think BP is actually right here. But there is another gate to consider when it comes to short selling. I don't know if it kicks in at ask place time or at fill. I mean, look at this case, right? You do this, right? You do this. You place an ask worth 10K. It goes down. Then it fills. You get 30K. Now you can make an even bigger one at you can place a 60K ask, right? Is that how that works? You place you can place like a 20K worth ask, and then it'll go down back to 10K, but then you get then you're gonna owe a lot of money. You're gonna owe a lot of shares, but you're gonna get a lot of money back. But some boring people at Wall Street, or boring people at the I don't know, the government decided no, you can't do that. So what happens? Okay. Under Regulation T, shorts at 150% of the value of the position at the time of the short. This includes 150% of the value of the short plus an additional margin requirement of 50%. So the margin requirement for a long position is also 50%. So this isn't buying power, is it? This is like margin requirements. If you have a long position, so you buy a stock on margin, if you buy a stock on margin, you need to keep 1 over margin mult around. Or, put simply, oh my god, this is something else to consider entirely. So you can't even have shares. Like, you can't hold shares. Wait a minute. Wait. What if you have a long position and it goes up? If you have a long position and it goes up, then this can't be bounded by cash. It has to be bounded by something else. So what does this deposit mean? What does this deposit mean? Okay. Whatever. This is just so fucking confusing. Like, where do I put this deposit? Is it in the cash or is it in the equity or what? Alright, whatever. If the investor shorts 20K of XYZ, so they sell 20K of XYZ without having it, they would be required to put up the 20K, which comes from the short sale, plus an additional 10K, for a total of 30K. 30K is their initial margin requirement. Wait. After the position is created, they will be transitioned to a maintenance margin requirement, which is lower. The maintenance margin requirement is the minimum equity requirement for their position and is meant to ensure that there's adequate equity to hold the XYZ short position along with any other positions. So to open it, they require 150%, but to keep it open and not get short called, they require 50%. Is that right? These guys are not helpful at all. All right, let me ask someone else. Okay. Okay, 150% of the value sale is required at the initial margin. So, of course, why not? Why wouldn't there be? So that means that if you have 10K and you want to short 10K, you need 15K. Margin requirements are fun. And this will be per client, like different clients, different. You you can have cash accounts, you can have whatever accounts, etc., etc. If you want to short 10K, you need to have 15K. Where? God knows. Nobody wants to tell me. Is it cash? Can you just tell me it's cash, please? It'd be so much easier. Okay. So this, if you need 15K to short that much, this won't even go through. This won't even go through at all. It'll be blocked by the margin requirements. So next question is, if you want to short 10K, you need to have 15K. But once you do, let's say you shorted with 20K cash. Shorted 10K, holding 20K cash. Now you have 30K and owe 10 shares. Right? That makes sense, right? Equity is still 20K. Buying power is 60K minus. Wait, buying power again went up. What the fuck? Buying power is up, but there's restrictions. There's restrictions because it's you're shorting. You're shorting. You can't buying it's buying power, not shorting power. So whatever. Okay. For example, if in total 15K, so yeah, that makes sense. But then, what about maintenance? Oh, here we go. Maintenance margin requirements rules for a short sale at a protective measure that further improves the likelihood that the borrowed shares will be returned. Right, we owe shares, but what if we just don't return them? You know, in the real stock markets, maintenance requirements for short sale are 100% of the current market value, along with 25% of the total market value of the securities in the margin account. So it's 150% initial, and it's 125% after. Higher requirements. Okay, so maintenance margin requirements can be whatever the hell we want. I might just change this to be like %, which we can work with pretty easily, I think. Okay. Below, a short sale is initiated for 1,000 shares at a price of $50. Okay. Short sale value, initial requirements. Wait, but initial margin. Wait. You said initial. Okay. So you really only need 50. You really only need 50%. You don't need, because you get the sale. You get the sale. So. Wait, but at the time the sale is initiated, so. So to short 50K, you need 75K, is that right? But then if you have 75K and you short 50K, you now have 125K. But also owe shares. Let's see. If stock goes to $55, which is not what you want, the short sale value is 55K, and the maintenance requirement margin, which is 30%, right? 55 divided by, yeah, or no, 20, wait, 4. Okay, where did you get that fucking value? Oh, okay, so 30%, all right. So 30%, this is 30%. So you need to, wait, 100% of the current market value plus that 30%. So you need to have 71. So it goes down a bit from the total initial margin requirement, but then it goes back up as the stock goes up, which makes sense. 71K margin call. Hey, I know New Hampshire. What the fuck? So 0, because you're fine. You have that 75K that you used to buy. But no, you have 125K, don't you? I don't understand. Give me a better one. The second table, what happens as stock price increases and the price moves against the short seller who's required to deposit additional margin in the account when the total margin requirement exceeds the original total margin requirement of 7,500. But wait a minute, he has 75K plus 50K, that's 125K. So why does he need to deposit more if the requirement is 78K? Because 125 is bigger than 78. I don't fucking get it. Is this a equity requirement? Is this not just cash? Are margin requirements based on cash held or equity? Don't answer this AI. Whatever. I'm not gonna trust Reddit. Oh my god. Okay. That's fine. Whatever. With cash or collateral when using a margin account. Okay. Okay, maybe this guy can, maybe this video will elucidate it.
Initial margin is the percentage of a stock's price an investor must have in his account to buy that stock on margin. A margin account allows investors to borrow money to buy securities. Buying on margin gives investors financial leverage. It enables them to increase their potential gain because they can buy more stock. But on the other hand, it also increases the risk of potential loss they can suffer. Regulation T sets initial margin requirements at a minimum level of 50%, though some brokerages require more.
What does that mean?
If Bob the investor wanted to buy $20,000 worth of ABC Corporation stock, his initial margin would be $10,000, which would come from his own cash or marginable securities.
But I thought you needed 150%.
He would borrow the other $10,000 from his brokerage to complete the transaction. If Bob had less than $10,000 in his account, he could not complete the transaction.
Right. Oh, yeah, obviously. What the fuck? Okay. Hush. I feel like I'm stupid or something. Like, why am I not getting this? Don't even get me started on interest. That's a whole other thing. All right, whatever. Futures. No, shut up. I don't care about futures. Yes, initial margin maintenance. Oh my god, can someone just give me a straight answer, please? Maintained. Maybe these guys can tell me. Thanks, Finra. Wait. The term margin means the amount of equity to be maintained on a. Maybe Chase Bank can tell me. Wait. Interest. Oh. Because you're borrowing money. Do you have to pay for that money? Oh, fuck, don't even get me started. Because right now I'm just putting it directly into cash if you borrow whatever. Maybe SEC can tell me. Ooh, picture. Oh, wait. Maybe I can understand this. Yeah, why do you need a margin account to short sell stocks? Can you just do it? But I thought you needed 150%, not just a fraction. Yes, 150%. Aha. Yes. Oh my god, thank you. Someone fucking says it. If you were to short a stock and the position had a value of 20,000, you'd be required to have a total of 30,000. Okay, that's what I was looking for. So, okay, that makes sense. Margin account is security, selling something you don't own, collateral or security, liquidating, allows you to liquidate like that what you will return, what you borrowed diminished. Yes. Oh, damn it! Like they give me one little nugget and then it's like, all right, that's it. Fuck off. Oh, maybe this one has something. Yeah, fundamentals. Yeah, I'm sure that's. Oh my god. All right, you know, fuck it, whatever. Equity. Give me a. Can you give me a source on that, please? Where? Uh-huh. Okay. Fair enough. So it's not cash, it's equity. It's equity, okay. Okay. Money market. Alright, I think I'm gonna take a break after this. This is too much. Because of money market funds, wait, what? Margin loan is a loan from a brokerage that's. Wait, is this the same thing? Can I short? Please tell me short. Fuck. Alright, what else? What other links do you have? Margin requirements, margin call, beyond margin basics, how to handle a margin call. Okay, this makes sense. Uninvested cash, market value securities, borrowed money. Okay, that makes perfect sense. But I need to know for sure. Hmm. It doesn't say anything about shorts. Do they actually call you when you get a margin call? Like, hello? Margin? Alright, I feel like Schwab might actually be able to tell me. Okay, so why is it saying 50% margin, but then also 150%? I don't get it. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Still looking for short. Like, I don't. Okay, whatever. Equity, cash, and/or securities. It's not cash. It's equity. And if the value of the stock goes up, so does your equity. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. My brain is fried. I'm gonna need to sleep on this.